Okay, greetings and welcome to my Sunday evening live stream. Thanks to anyone who may as of yet tuned in. Hope you're all well this Sunday evening. We'll be starting as per usual. I'll be playing in with a video. Friend of the channel, I'd say, YouTuber JT33 has uploaded a new song today. I've played in on a few of his tunes. I think he's a very talented individual. Right, I'm going to start my timer because we've not oh, that isn't right. What have I done? Yeah, we're starting the timer. However, it's not showing up. Bear with me. Yeah, well, we've got a 4.5 minute tune to play. Right, countdown. Here we go. I'm going to start playing Gaia's Revenge by JT33, the YouTuber. The link will be in the live chat very shortly. Hope you enjoy that. By the time that plays out, I will be starting. We'll look in tonight at, well, big news story, big thing came out today about the British government having a change of heart over something. We can discuss that if you wish. Susan Byrne, greetings. Thanks for joining us. I see you in the chat. Anyone else there wishes to come on and say hello? Always good to know who's tuning in and have a bit of interaction. Yeah, the title of this evening's stream is How Language Changes. A couple of examples you can see in the thumbnail. An old meaning, a word such as stay safe, now means live in fear. And in the past we might have referred to a person as an agoraphobic. If you're not familiar with that word, it means someone who is afraid of going out, afraid of being out in, I think specifically means open spaces, but anyone afraid of leaving their house is an agoraphobic. And now it just means self-isolating. I am going to check my audio's all right. David, greetings. Hi, Bobby in the chat. Yeah. Susan said hi twice according to my chat box, so hope you can hear me and my response. Right, I'm going to be quiet for 4.5 minutes while we play in. I'm just checking the audio. Yeah, it seems to be working. Okay, I will be with you after we play in with Gaia's Revenge by JT33. The link will be in the live chat. And once this video's playing as a pre-record, I'll have it in the description. Alright, speak to you soon.
Extreme conditions leading to extreme concern. As scientists say, climate change shows no signs of slowing its deadly rampage.
Scientists have predicted this for the last 70 years, but it's actually happening more quickly and it's more intense than we realized.
Shows no signs of slowing. Scientists now say it would have been virtually impossible without human-caused climate change.
Apologies, the video just paused, so I'm starting up again now. I'm just also showing a link. Be back in a minute.
The sea level's rising, and the media's lying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever the war of the sound. Where will you go?
Conditions now fueling infernos across the region, making the fires bigger and more destructive.
The sea level's rising, and the media's lying.
Sea levels rise up to swallow you. Just another politically partisan issue. They seem to follow you. Sounds to me like a psyop. I'll cut off the head of the Cyclops. His lies are incredibly venomous. He's spitting that ridiculous sadistic shit. Sadomasochist, I'll be spontaneous. Me some more. Blockbuster must be getting dangerous with this outrageousness. I've played like this for so long, I'll really stay like this. Yo, jot it down and put it on the misinformation list and step back to the line. I've crossed all my T's and dotted my I's, trying to redefine what is left on the inside. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Can anyone guess what's coming next? Just how long do we remain locked down, vaccinated and muzzled with Big Brother's foot on our necks? This life is a test to put forward the best of you. That is the quest for you. Learn to be humble. You gotta grow from your slips and your stumbles. Forget what the media mumbles. Then sit back and watch as the narrative crumbles. When all that you think that you thought that you knew was a lie. This is a war on your mind, body and soul. They're waging for total control. It's just a part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you.
Sea levels rising, and the media's dying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever the war inside. Where will you go?
Parched conditions now fueling infernos across the region, making the fires bigger and more destructive.
The sea levels rising, and the media's dying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever the war inside. Where will you go?
Okay, great stuff from JT33. Hi also to Linda Mack, who's joined the live chat. Says, treatment failure becomes breakthrough cases. Yes, absolutely. I caught a clip of an interesting video. It's by a guy, I'm not sure how familiar some of you guys may be with him. I don't know much about him. Seems pretty professional, the work he's doing. Almost say he looks mainstream, but I hope that's not the case. And yeah, he was reporting a whistleblowing nurse that had suggested that Delta variant is just those that have been made unwell by taking certain treatment this last couple of months. Right. David tells us Sky News are pushing climate change. I think that's an ongoing thing. I don't think that'll ever change. And Linda says main driver of climate change is likely solar activity. Somehow it hardly ever gets mentioned. Solar activity, well, of course it is. It's exactly what causes the climate to change. When the sun is nearer to us, the weather changes and gets warmer. When it gets further away, the climate changes. It's a real thing. I mean, you can't deny climate change. It's like saying that tomorrow or next month, next couple of months aren't going to be colder than the last couple of months. Summer, winter, climate absolutely changes every day. But it's not something to be afraid of. Absolutely trying to push fear on anyone if they're suggesting that humans are going to wipe ourselves out by making the world too hot. As Linda points out, it's caused by the solar activity. It is the sun. Susan Byrne, is that Stu Peters? Possibly, yeah. It could be the channel. I believe I've seen him on, I wish to say, something like Rumble. And not one of these streaming sites that I personally use an awful lot. The only ones I use is YouTube and Twitch. Rockfin looks quite good. Yeah. I was actually going to tell a little anecdote about climate change when I was a child. I remember having it pushed into my head that there was a hole in the ozone layer. That's what they used to tell us. And it was the size of the Brazilian rainforest. They never showed any evidence of this hole, however, but we were led to believe that there was a hole in the rainforest, and by using deodorants, CFCs, that was the big buzzword back then. CFCs were destroying the ozone layer. Of course, you don't hear anything about it anymore. And that's not to say CFC gases, well, whatever they are, have they just been rebranded? Who knows? Linda Max, Stu Peters does great interviews. Absolutely agree. Yes, I heard him talking with a whistleblower, and what she was saying was not a surprise, of course, but 100% different to what mainstream media are reporting. So yeah, I've got nothing, I've always, good things. The videos I've seen Stu Peters do certainly look great, look very professional. But as I say, he looks a little mainstream, but it's not saying he is. Who knows? He looks a bit the British version of Alex Jones kind of thing, but maybe that's an insult. We'll see. David, don't use plastic bottles. Everything will get better. Anyway, yes, I was saying about when I was a child. Yeah, you're absolutely right, David. Don't use plastic bottles. So do they choose to ban plastic bottles? Do they choose to plan plastic bags? Or do they just hike up the cost of using it all now? You have to pay you have to pay a 10p charge every time you have a plastic bag now. So they don't get rid of it, they just start making money on it, of course, and then that makes the damage it's doing to the environment that little bit more bearable. We'll have a look for the person I saw. Actually, I will share my screen. I do have a document on the go. It's what I used in the title screen. It is... Now this maybe doesn't quite make sense. Perhaps it's... Yeah, not set up particularly well. Hang on, let's line it up a bit. I'm going to be adding to this as we go through, to be honest. The other night when I thought of this, I had loads in my head. Stay safe, now means living in fear. Agoraphobic, now means self-isolating. I had a whole list of words that I thought of which would no longer mean what they used to. Got to be able to think of an example. But yeah, once I hit that record button on Go Live, my head goes blank. So yeah, I should have written them down, but there is plenty of examples. So if anyone can share any, which they've noticed, yeah, of course we did a review of the film 1984 a few weeks back, and yeah, they do talk about changing the language and people are expected to use what they call double think and double speak, and it's a way they minimize people's ability to think by minimizing the language, dumbing it down, basically. Yes, so we were going to have a look at, bear with me, what was the name of the person? I've put, right, sorry. David says, plastic will never go away, it's cheap and easy to use. Absolutely, long lasting, recyclable. Right, Maria Ellender, when I was at school in the 60s, we were told to prepare for the coming ice age. Wow. Hi Maria, welcome to the live stream, thanks for joining us. They were talking, yeah, isn't it incredible how it changes? I think what we were being told was the world's going to turn into a greenhouse and all the hot gases are going to bounce around something, I'm not quite sure what. and not be allowed to leave Earth. I think it was the ozone layer they were saying. They didn't. Anyway, I remember my brother once, who was a few years older than me, him asking my mum to buy him a deodorant, and he said, "Oh, don't get me any CFC-free deodorant. Just get me the normal stuff." And I was fuming. I was like, "How on earth can you destroy the world like this? You hear what they're talking about on the news?" And he said, "No, don't believe it." Unfortunately, he's not like that anymore. He had somehow got it into his head that they were lying about CFCs. I mean, he couldn't have been much more than 10. I was probably 7 or 8, maybe 8 when I started using a spray-on deodorant. Only because my brother got one, so of course I wanted one. But maybe a bit older, 8 to 12. And I was absolutely fuming. But of course, things change. My brother now works for the RUA. My brother now works for the NHS and is very believing of what his employers are telling him. Of course, that NHS workers are being hero worshipped at the moment, or they have been anyway. It's changed now. It's if you don't take our treatment, then you can kiss goodbye to your job. Let's see. Isa Jones, or otherwise known as Kev, greetings. Thanks for joining us. Hope you are well. Maria says definitely will not happen in Newspeak. Is now it will definitely will happen. Yeah, that's Newspeak. Maybe that was the language they used in 1984. Thanks, Maria. I said double speak, but it was double think, a method which kind of goes on today. We are encouraged to believe absolute nonsense. Who are we going to look at? Stu Peters. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with this video. I'm not sure what you'd call him. A journalist, a video maker, content producer. Stu Peters. Well, he's the first. One of the first. Yeah, this is the guy. Now that's quite mainstream when you put the word stew into Bing, which is a massive, search engine, and he is the first result that comes up. Maybe it's because they've tracked my usage and they've seen that I have watched some of his stuff. This is front page of Bing. I'm not sure whether Google give him so much coverage. Tell you what, the reason I do use Bing actually is it's a good way of if you happen to use Skype and you want to make long distance phone calls, you do searches on there and it lets you build up rewards that you can then use as that you can then pay for Skype, like £10 credit, and you can just ring around the world on Skype. Very good. If anyone ever does want to join the show and talk with the audience, I've done specifically open line episodes in the past where I've invited calls on. That's what this guy appears to do, Stu Peters, and as I believe it was Linda Mack said, he does great interviews, so I would recommend him. He is on Rumble. I just hope he's not a safety net, that is all I'll say. We've had a big. I'm not sure how much I really particularly want to cover the mainstream news but of course we've had. I'm not sure how significant it really is because I never believed it was going to happen anyway. But if I put the word passport in, Brits warn scrapping BS passport could prompt lockdown. Of course. If we're not prepared to be asked, if we're not prepared to give up everything for one of these ridiculous passports, then we will be expected to wear masks, take tests. So far, I've still flat out refused to do any of it. I don't think there is a business in operation at the moment that could force me to do it. The only situation where I may be pressured to do it was if a family member was in organisation or institution, and I was told you can't come and visit this family member unless you have it. I'm not sure what I'd do in that situation, but it would. Fortunately, that hasn't happened. But of course, yeah. So far, I have not bowed to any pressure to go along with any of their insanity, and because that is how I view it. They're expecting us to behave like lunatics. Right. Bobby, David says, can you show some 9/11 footage later? Yes, actually, 9/11, that was yesterday. Thanks for the suggestion, David. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Brian S. Staveley. I did cover, let's see, Staveley. We mentioned the Mandela Effect the other week, and I suggested this guy as a person to look, whose channel to follow if you want very good coverage. He did a 5-hour long video yesterday, and I went on and spoke to him. What is he on? Rockfin, I think that's the place to find him. He doesn't do anything on YouTube anymore, apparently. Yeah. I'm guessing, I do not follow the MSM, mainstream media, at all. But I'm guessing yesterday was absolutely plastered with 9/11 items. Right. Watch content. Maybe it's Dose of Reality. That is the name of the channel. Yeah, Brian. His channel was one of the ones where I saw people. This is him. I saw. He invited calls. And I thought it was. Yeah, here it is. I actually. He inspired me to try my open lines, among other channels. This guy was one of them, the first one I saw doing it. I wonder if you've got to pay for it, though, to watch this. Otherwise, it's definitely on Twitch. Right, I won't. We will watch this later on, I'm on the phone to him for about 5 minutes, and we do discuss that. Perhaps if we have an interval, I will play it. I'll play my chat that I had with Brian. Thanks for the suggestion. Maria asks, did anyone join Hold the Line yesterday? We had a good turnout in Southend. No, I'm not familiar with Hold the Line, Maria. There is something taking place in my local area next Saturday. It's something in the park. I'm not sure if it's Hold the Line. I can look that up, Maria, and see what that is, if you wish. Hold the Line. Thanks for the suggestion, by the way, Maria. Is it, if you're able to share links, Maria, so if you're able to send a link to these people, that would be great. I've found something down here, whether this is it. Is this what we're referring to, Maria? Those that choose to attend will afford collective opportunity across all parts of the country, show in their local area their distrust in a system that has become more and more tyrannical over the past 18 months. It kind of has, but I think at the same time, that tyranny has always been there. It's always had a hold over us. It's just decided in the past couple of years to flex its muscles. Let's see how affable let's see how docile and willing to go along with it their subjects are. I've heard it said that some ruling class, I'm not sure how true this is, but I'm sure it might not be a million miles off the mark that the basically anyone that isn't a part of this community that made this allegation or suggestion, they treat everyone basically like they're cattle, and they see us as cattle and not worthy of but yeah, thanks for this suggestion, Maria. For the defence of the rights and freedoms of the people. Where do they meet up, Maria? I'd be curious to know. When you say you had a good turnout in Southend, unfortunately, I'm not on like Facebook, and I know a lot of these organisations meet up on. Okay. Maria, I will share a link, and if anyone wishes to have a look at this organisation, it is in the live chat. But yeah, I would be curious if when you say hold the line, what is it? A protest? Is it a meeting, or is it something like they're holding in my local town a meet-up in a park where people just stand in the park? I believe it was originally right. Hang on, hold the line. David says, I noticed yesterday the media aren't showing the plane going through the tower. Maybe it looks too CGI now for the younger generation. Curious. Do you know an interesting thing about that? Back in must have been late teens to early 20s. Well, 20 years ago I was 21 years old. So my television had busted and I didn't have one at the time. I remember I didn't watch it I didn't actually see the actual planes hitting until the following year at least. It may have been like a New Year rundown, and I probably saw it like on an end of year clip show because I around the same time I read the book 1984, but the film that I'm not saying that's all telling actually. If we play the discussion I have with Brian Staveley, you'll see that I mentioned pretty much what I'm saying now, so I won't repeat myself too much. But it's I'm not saying that 1984 is all truthful, all telling, all knowing. I'm just saying it's interesting, some of the occurrences it talks about and how real to life they are at the minute, or could end up being. Maria, they're a Telegram group. Again, that is another, I'm not sure if you call it social network or platform I'm on. Telegram. It's not, I've just never signed up. I mean, there's so many social media or messaging services. I couldn't possibly be on all of them. So Telegram is one I've never really got a hold of. But yeah, let's see. Words that have changed meanings. Lockdown. I mean, what would that have meant, say, back in 2019? I mean, really, how I should be laying this out is a word at the top and then its old meaning versus its new meaning. Now I'm saying like something we would say back in 2018, lockdown. What it meant back then, obviously different to other people. I guess you would assume it meant exactly what it says, securing something, keeping everyone down. What does it now mean? Enslavement. I mean, it's got a much more intimidating meaning now than it would have had a few years ago. I will go back to looking at some of the other subjects. If anyone wants to suggest anything particular, Someone mentioned Sky's coverage of climate change. We'll have a look at that shortly after I've redefined. Maybe lockdown hasn't changed. Once I've come up with one language change, I will go and look at. My monitor has stopped. Bear with me. Right. Oh, my volume's up. Okay, yeah, so lockdown, what did it used to mean? What does it now mean? Daily life. Living in lockdown is now just something we all do. Okay, Sky, well, we'll go on Sky News' website and see if any of the usual things come up in their coverage of climate change. Inside the abandoned detention centre. Javid wants to ditch tests for travellers as soon as possible, as passports are axed. Could they come to a sudden halt? Now, who knows, we'll see. Basically, how many people do they say in this country have had the treatment? 40 million. Perhaps they're saying, hey, we've done well, we've sold 40 million people at least one, maybe two doses of our poison. Let's skip town, time to run out of here now. Maybe it will suddenly grind to a halt. Wouldn't that be great? But it's I can't see it going back to how things were. Right, I don't see any. Oh, here is this a climate change story? Royal Navy, the autonomous fleet of the future. Okay. Uncertainty as schools return. Health security warns of bad flu season due to concerning levels of immunity. Of course, if BS19 goes away, flu comes back in a big way. And I think everyone's mindset has now changed enough that we no longer... people are terrified of getting ill, no matter what. Right, I'll have a look for climate change. There we go. It's basically a subject. It's one of the 6 main topics, they say, worth talking about is the climate. Basically weather, but how far does actually weather come down? Weather, which climate change really is the last thing they expect you to click on. Thousands of red wall jobs at risk without green investment, the TUC warns. Greenpeace declares emergency as super trawlers blamed for depleted UK fishing stocks. One thing I guarantee, well, actually I can't guarantee this, but I bet unless something dramatically changes, I bet you'll never have a problem going and buying fish, okay? Australia and UK, okay. Should we eat less meat? Absolutely ridiculous. Because think of it this way. All the animals and creatures that we eat are kept in farms, kept in one place. If they're not being kept for food, then obviously there would just be more in the... I don't believe that they would suddenly stop being born, I think. Well, maybe. They do quite intensely farm. But does the amount of animals in the world change the climate? Personally, don't buy that. Maybe locally, maybe for a short while, but not to the point they're suggesting. Polar bears inbreeding increases as Arctic sea ice melts. What a ridiculous story. Of course, there was a big explosion somewhere. I did see a video of it on Twitter. A study looking at the impact of the animals becoming more isolated in... Well, actually, I can't guarantee this, but I bet you'll never have a problem going and buying fish, okay? Australia and UK, okay. Should we eat less meat? Absolutely ridiculous. A study looking at the impact of the animals becoming more isolated in and says the loss of genetic diversity is alarming. So we're looking for any of their typical giveaways. Numbers. Arctic sea ice is causing an increase in inbreeding among polar bears. A new study has found. Right, 90. Let's see. Okay, without looking too closely, I haven't seen any of the numbers pop up. There are around 20 to 30,000 polar bears left in the world. I wonder what the official number is. Probably, who knows, 22. Right, I'm going to get onto Twitter and we'll have a look at the... It was an explosion that happened. It was somewhere in the Far East, I think. It wasn't Japan. It was a place near to Japan. Phil Wright, greetings and thanks for joining. Just having a look at the live chat. Obrek, greetings. Thanks for joining us this evening. Always good to see you in the chat. Sirius the dog on 9/11. You might have to be more specific on that one. I'm not sure what Sirius the dog is. Linda says only prisons used to get lockdowns in 2019. Yeah, I guess that is the only place you generally would have heard that term. Where was the video I saw of a big explosion? And it came out of the sea, but I think they were... It won't be too far down my list, hopefully. I don't think I liked it, unfortunately. Okay, I cannot immediately find it. Overpopulation is a myth. Not quite. See, I agree with this, actually. I'm not sure what this post is going to say, but if it mentions that the amount of people in the world, 7.8 billion, isn't true, then... Well, let's read it. In fact, there is so much room on Earth that if everyone lived as densely as New York City, the entire world population of 7.8 billion could fit into the state of Alaska and give them all an acre of land and everyone would fit nicely. Maybe, who knows. They used to claim that everyone on Earth could stand in the Isle of Wight. Yeah, how true that is. Overpopulation is a lie just like everything else. The lie that we are overpopulated is spread to induce fear and scarcity over the masses and to justify ways to lower the population. It is a statistical fact that 50% of humans live on less than 1% of the land, and it is a fraction of lawns were turned into gardens, food scarcity would be non-existent. Very good point. Yeah, if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, I am over there. I would like to find this video, but I haven't got it at the second. Oh my goodness. Okay. Right, carrying on looking at the live chat. Yeah, Susan also says, and David and Linda, that lockdowns are basically a prison term and now it means house arrest. Absolutely correct, Susan Burns. Thanks. Maria says prisoners are put into lockdown, isolation, allowed 1 hour exercise daily when they disobey orders. Furlough is an old prison term as well. I did not know that. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Maria. Exactly what was inflicted on everyone in Britain, and I know other countries have had it. Apparently Australia have got it really over the top. Phil Wright, I believe I already greeted you, but if not, thanks for joining the live chat. No passports in the UK. Yes, I've looked at that. I do wonder if we were looking at Sky News' coverage, and it certainly seems to be, if you believe a word they say, they seem to try and be moving on, hang on. Where was it? It was saying something about travellers no longer being required to... Yeah, here we go. Javid wants to ditch testing for travellers as soon as possible, along with the axed passport. So maybe it'll ground to a halt. But look what story we've got just a little bit down. Where was it? It was about flu set to skyrocket again this year. And I thought, wouldn't that be typical? Where was it? It was some medical person where was it? Yeah, it was saying, it was on here somewhere, and it was saying, fears as flu is set to come back in, mass numbers, but I can't find it at the minute. Of course, they're still giving us these stories. Girl in hospital targeted by anti-vaxxers after urging young people to have the jab. Why would anyone take this person's opinion, though? Personally, I wouldn't divert any hatred towards her. If she wants to share her opinion, that's up to her, but who cares? I mean, right, Maisie, for example, you may say, absolutely right to say, well, who cares about my opinions on it, but at any one time have I ever suggested anyone either do or don't take any type of treatment from any medical institute? Not at all. I believe that's something you, of course, make your own mind up on. And so Macy Evans, 17, feared she would die after becoming seriously unwell. Okay. Right, do any numbers appear on this one? Let's have a look. Any telltale signs? She tells Sky News she has been accused of being a liar and an actress paid by the government. Wow, what an admission. Well, who knows? Let's see how much coverage this person got, Macy Evans. But actress paid by the government, if she isn't one, then that's not to say they don't pay actors to advertise this rubbish, as has been exposed. I've mentioned the YouTuber PK. He's exposed actors, not just him. I think a lot of good YouTubers have exposed actors who have taken part in these sorts of news stories, and that they've been, they're basically paid actors. Someone was hospitalised after falling ill. They've said that twice now. Anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists after urging young people to have the 19 vaccine. Macy Evans, a former member of the Welsh Youth Parliament, she's involved in Parliament, told Sky News, and she also is got a contact at Sky News that will... that's not quite what it seems, is it? I'm not being mean about this person. Of course, they were just ill with a deadly virus. But my goodness, they don't look right to me. Look at those eyebrows. Look at that big jaw. Nah. Yes, I would wish to check body ratios of this person, not literally, but seeing how wide their shoulders is compared to hips, just stuff like that, anyway. She told Sky News, right, after revealing her ordeal on social media, Macy says she has been targeted online by trolls accusing her of being a liar and actress. They've just literally repeated the same two sentences in this story. She told Sky News, I've had to deal with a lot of anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists, which is deeply frustrating. I've been called a liar, an actress. Oh, hang on. An actress paid by the government to push certain agendas. Satan, a Nazi, evil, and so many more things. It's totally uncalled for. Macy, who's been treated at the Grange University Hospital in Cwmbran, says the virus has left struggling to stand without getting out of breath, and it takes an hour. Yeah, the usual story. But isn't it interesting they named the hospital she's at, almost like they're urging people to phone up and check on her? Because that would be an easy way to confirm whether this is a legit, well, who knows. There's nothing legit on mainstream media, that's the problem. That's the story basically. Oh no, it carries on. She just goes on about how out of breath by the looks of it. Hang on, so has she had I'm guessing she's had her treatment, according to the story. Since the virus has left her struggling to stand without breath. I've probably had every possible symptom. I've had the cough, the high temperature, the shake, sickness, dizziness, body aches, you name a symptom, it's hit me. That's very general. You name a symptom, it's hit me. I've even lost my sense of smell and taste, of course. Most of those symptoms have eased, but breathlessness is definitely still an issue. Okay. Before I was taken, right, after several blood tests, what's the point? This person's they said they've got a virus, basically. Should we keep giving them x-rays? Bear in mind, they've already diagnosed it. Keep giving her blood tests, x-rays, and CT scans. Why? If you've already diagnosed this person with BS19, why would you continually run one test after another on them? I don't understand the purpose of that. Unless the hospital they went to just wishes to get some funds. I mean, basically every time they sell a patient a blood test, an x-ray or a CT scan, the taxpayers are paying for that treatment. So it's a money merry-go-round, you could say. She said the COVID-related blood clot was found on her right lung. Before it's taken, I'm curious if this person, I know it's all part of the make-believe story because none of it's probably real, but I'm curious if she's had her own jab, as it were. Oh, right, okay. I'd love to know how different my story would be if I'd been offered it just a week or two earlier. Does that maybe mean she's had one? She's had the first one. Ridiculous to think that having just had, only having one blast of poison doesn't consider you poisoned. You've got to have two. Right, I'm having a look at the live chat. Maria, okay, so do we think the passport is gone forever? That is what Phil Wright suggests. No, that's a good question. Are they likely to come back, would you say? Have we genuinely seen the end of it? Is it all suddenly going to grind to a halt? I cannot see that happening here, but not other countries. We'll see. It sounds like Australia's still gripped in hell, torment. And we will see. Let's see how it plays out. Maria recommends attending events like this one. Can't remember what. The Line in the Park or something. Sorry, Maria. Forgive me. I've can't remember what you said the meetings were called now, but right. I'm going to look at the live chat. Yes, I may shortly have a. Yeah, I'm not going to be going too long this evening. Probably, I'll go until about 11. So I may have a short interval at some point. I do want to catch up on reading the live chat though. Obrecht says that the left fearmonger the virus, the right fearmonger the vax. Yeah, I can't argue with that one. Yes, but still, yeah, that's why it's good to. It's good to yeah, it's good not to always take part in the official narrative. People, I mean, often it's, I mean, like a workplace, for example, it's a terrible place for them to go and hear people talking about this rubbish. But it sets, I don't know. Right, okay, yeah, so great story. I'm going to say I bet she is a paid actress. She certainly wasn't born, what did they say her name was? Macy. They seem to love wearing masks though. Yes, I'm going to suggest not legit on that one. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a story that's where they mention flu. Can we search on this one? No idea. Sky don't let you search, why not? Right. Sky News search. Flu. Possible, but bear in mind, it seems like, I don't know, it seems like things could be slowing down now with BS19. But what a coincidence that Sajid Javid warns of possible bad flu season due to concerning levels of immunity following restrictions last winter. So they're now saying everyone's immunity has dropped through the floor, and everyone's going to get ill. If you all go out now, you're all going to mix with people. I mean, how do we know? Yeah, how true it was, who knows? But I do remember the school nurse coming out and telling us all that mixing, germs, you need germs and stuff, they're not a bad thing. And yeah, is the idea that if we don't mix with other humans, we don't pick up an immunity to certain germs and viruses? Who knows? Right, so what I plan to do then, maybe take a 5-minute interval. Tell you what, I will join up with the live chat. We can play a brief conversation I had with the YouTuber Brian Staveley. It is here on Rockfin. Let's see, I wasn't talking that long. Unfortunately, we will have to play it. The audio will come through the microphone, so it might not be that great. Okay, let's just hang on. Is that working? Otherwise, I'll watch it over on Twitch. Not sure if any of you are familiar with Rockfin. There's some channels have gone over there. I was chat disconnected. Please wait while we try. I hope the stream has been smooth. Thanks to everyone who has joined in the live chat this evening. David says Bojo's extended laws till March next year. Okay, good point. Wow, that seems very behind on the live chat. Maria says hold the line. Yes. I'm guessing it is organisations, and I mean, how much of do you think the idea that they've decided not to do what they plan to do was because of the protesting and the opposition, and apparently some of the government have revolted against the idea of what they're now claiming isn't going to be happening. They're scrapping it. Now, my memory is that I genuinely don't follow the news closely enough to even know, and I wouldn't follow this anyway. Was it meant to be from tonight, that you would be required to have had their poison in order to attend venues. Is that right? Crowded venues. You had to be double jabbed from this evening. I'm not sure if that was what they were originally suggesting. And has that changed? Because to me it seems like they've got people right where they want them now. Right, it doesn't look like I'll be able to play this, so I'll have a look on Twitch. Bear with me. I don't know if any of you have ever followed me on Twitch. Probably not, because I've only got about 4 followers. I'm guessing most of them are from YouTube. So thanks if any of you are. Let's see. Yeah, I've rebranded my channel name. I'm now called Bobby's Dream over on Twitch. Right. I don't really... Oh, I'm not even logged in. Let's see. Oh. Dose of reality. Nope. Brian S. Staveley. What? If you are not familiar with this guy, right. Not being logged in means that I'm not able to. I suppose I could follow a link through YouTube. Perhaps if we reload that video, I mean, being a 5-hour video, it's going to be. Let's see. Hopefully we can get it playing. Right, how long did it go on for? I came on for about the last 5 minutes, probably. Oh.
But Wednesday, on my channel, we'll have a Rockfin premium stream. You have to be subscribed to Rockfin, me and Karen. Going on like an hour or so.
There we are. This is me yakking.
Yeah, yeah, to totally go to your question and to go to shows to present things I need to present or things that are time urgent to get out with people, you know? It's just kind of everybody's hanging out all of us.
Okay, bear with us then. I'm going to start playing this talk I had with this guy. He is Brian S. Staveley. I'll put a link to his Rockfin account in the live chat if anyone wants to join him. But yeah, he's been going years. He was apparently doing this sort of stuff when, well, he says 9/11 was when he started, so he's been going 20 years. Brian S. Staveley on Rockfin. Okay, I'm going to take maybe 5 minutes just to fill up my drink, for example, and then we'll probably go for another half an hour. With me, when I aim to go half an hour, it can drag on. It depends how things go. But yeah, when we come back, we'll try and make a bit more of a list of words that have completely changed their meaning in the last couple of years, and look at just how. Will it ever go back? Let's see. Right. Okay, how loud is this? Hopefully the audio isn't too bad. Alright, I don't want to deafen you or make it all muffled.
And kicking back, you know? Maybe I could even do one tonight.
This was yesterday on the anniversary of 9/11. I had this chat.
Interesting. Let me talk to a few people and see what they got going on.
So yeah, bear in mind, he's been going for 5 hours, 31 minutes by the time I talked to him. I struggle to stream for like 2 hours. My voice gets all dry. My mind just goes to blank. I get tired. And yeah, so for this guy to do a 5 hour live stream, he did have a co-host on, but they'd gone off by now. Yeah, Brian Staveley, he's got he's said an awful lot on the Mandela effect, on 9/11, on Flat Earth, on pretty much everything. So yeah, here is. I'm not sure how long I'm talking for, probably about 5 minutes, but I'll play out the last sort of 5 minutes. And if you hear squeaking noises, it is my door squeaking, the hinge on the door. Yeah, I'd be interested to share my Twitch account, because I kind of do completely. I'm planning to do completely different videos on there. I'm curious. I'm interested in dream interpretations. I don't believe such thing exists now, but in biblical times, of course, dreams would be. Yeah, they would tell the future. I don't believe we are. I don't think you should become a fortune teller and try and predict the future based on dreams, but I am interested in them. So yes, if you're interested in that, I am over on Twitch, and I am going to be making more videos on that subject. Bobby's Dream, it is called. I'll leave a link before we end this evening. Right, okay, I'll be back in 5 minutes, and yeah, during the just as we reach sort of the halfway point, I'd like to thank everyone who's joined in the live chat. Obrecht, Phil Wright, Maria, Susan, David, Linda, Maria, if I haven't already mentioned you, Isa Jones, otherwise known as Kev, and I believe that's everyone. Please forgive me if I've missed out anyone. Alright, I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Here I am speaking last night on it was about 7 p.m. yesterday. Alright, I'll be back with you in a minute.
We'll have to get off in a little while. Not right now, but Karen has a show at 5 or 5:30. We can't, be streaming at the same time in the same house. Just not going to work out. So, 978-435-0006. Getting pretty hungry. Probably going to wind it down soon. Take a couple calls. Like I said, probably come back tonight. We'll see. I'll definitely need to take a nap. I'm going to be exhausted after this. Shows like this take a lot of energy out of me. You guys don't even know. I'm going to eat and crash, and then I'm going to see how I feel after. But Wednesday, on my channel, we'll have a Rockfin premium stream. You have to be subscribed to Rockfin.
I am coming up in a minute. I don't actually remember hearing him say this, because I must have been dialing out. Like I said, you can ring America if you use Skype. You get free Skype credit if you use Bing search. They probably track you. You have to be signed in, of course, to collect the points. But anyway, here we go. Be back in a minute.
Aaron, 1:11 p.m. Eastern, 10:11 a.m.
Hope the audio is all right.
Okay, that's Wednesday afternoon. And then Thursday night.
I haven't heard this. I haven't heard this since doing it, so I'm curious to know what it sounds like. But I'll be back in a minute. Hope the audio is bearable.
Unveiling the film. Dose of reality.
Hey, Brian, it's Bobby, mate. You alright?
Hey, who's this?
Yeah, well, I go by, I'm Bobby's Dream on Twitch. Yeah,
oh, cool. How you doing, buddy?
On YouTube, though. Not bad.
Cool.
Yeah, just a couple of things to say in question. Well, firstly, that Judy, Dr. Judy, basically a classic case of what I call mainstream truthers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, and she totally dodged your question, didn't she?
Yeah, totally, man. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me all right? I'm not sure why good my signal is.
Oh, yeah, no. Hey, you sound good, man. You sound good.
That's good. Yeah, and a couple of things. Yeah, I've been watching the last few hours. I first got a notification, I think it was sometime, like we've been going about 5 hours of you.
Yeah, I've been going a little over 5 hours now. 5.5.
Yeah, it's a marathon effort. Well done, mate. Good stuff, yeah. Basically, I was just wondering, I wasn't going to ask you a question, because personally, I never really looked into 9/11. I mean, it happened when I was in my early 20s, and it was the first thing I ever remembered comparing to what I read in 1984 as a false flag.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's much more than that. Yeah, so I'm not big into it. I do remember thinking there was a big comparison to the 7/7 attacks. Do you remember them in London?
Yes, I do. I actually I looked at that a little bit as well after this. That was something that I went back and looked at.
Yeah. Well, one thing that was apparent in the 7-7 and has also been apparent in other things, is at the exact same time there's a drill going on.
Yep.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. Was that the case with 9/11 at the time? Did they have a
Yes,
drill?
yes, they did. They had a
did,
couple
yeah.
going on. Yeah, and the names of the drills are escaping my mind at this time, and I know people in the chat will probably type it in there. I just can't remember the name of them right now. There were a couple.
Of course, that's a great way of... Sorry.
Yeah, no, there were like a couple live action drills going at the time. There was one supposedly on the ground, and there was one supposedly like with the Air Force, and why they would have stood down and they were really doing a practice drill. Like the same thing happened at the same time with hijacked aircrafts and all this crap.
Yeah, some sanity. And of course, that's a great way of clearing an area, isn't it? You tell people there's an attack going on like an hour or so before it even happens, or just tell them there's a drill going on.
Yeah.
Also thought you were spot on when you said 9/11 kind of played out the same way as what I call BS-19.
Oh, same, man. Very much.
Yeah, the hero worship of emergency services, some of that springs to my mind.
Yeah, man, isn't it? It's kind of pathetic, and they got everybody thinking they're heroes, spreading this fake patriotism. Was the 9/11? Now it's like the fake heroism, and it's like the same thing. And now they're putting the two events together today, and it's all it makes me want to throw up, man.
I'm guessing it's being. I mean, I haven't turned the TV on all day, but I'm guessing it's being plastered over the mainstream media in America. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just been seeing posts on the social media. I don't even have a TV. You know, I can't. I got rid of the TV so many years ago. No, it's cool. But I do see what's said. You know, I have Facebook, which is just as bad. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing. I'm just curious. Does anything? Because I know you're big into the Mandela, and you know I've got a channel, and I did recommend you because people were talking about Mandela effect in the chat, so I left a link to your stuff. I was going to say, is anything massive about 9/11 being Mandela'd or not?
Oh, there's some Mandelas in 9/11. A couple of the biggest ones is the book that George Bush read in the classroom in Florida. It used to be called My Pet. It used to be My Pet Goat. Now it is The Pet Goat. It's The Pet Goat now. Okay. And Tower 7 used to be called the Solomon Brothers Building. Now it is the Salomon. Yeah. Yes,
so you're absolutely right. I do remember that one. That slipped my mind. I was curious. I do have, like I said, talking about reading the book 1984, False Flag. They do sort of touch on Mandela in a way, and that the main character, his job is literally to wipe out any records of anything in which they've changed history. Yeah, it's just that I did think, I'm not sure if you've ever seen any of the films or read the books particularly good. Obviously, I actually finally, like last year or this year, I watched the film, but I heard the book is much better, so I probably have to check that out. Yeah, they go into a lot of things like double speak and how they limit your thinking by limiting the language. Yeah, it's really interesting. But of course, they're also trying to lead you down. You know, it's a mainstream book, and they're not going to be. They may give you truth, but they mix it up with their own narrative, as always, don't they?
Yeah, totally.
So while it's a good book, you know, it's not. Yeah, it's got its flaws, obviously.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll probably have to check it out.
Yep. Yeah, I recommend it. All right, and Brian, that was it. But yeah, keep up the good work. All right.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, what's your channel?
Oh, well, I'm Bobby Zones on YouTube. I basically do a live stream every Sunday night.
Okay.
I was inspired by you doing call-ins, but I don't get half as many as you do. I've actually say.
Oh, can you drop your link in the chats if you can? Okay, so people can sub you.
I'll put it in Twitch. All right.
All right, cool. Thank you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, mate.
Bye-bye.
Cheerio, Brian.
See you later, pal. Can one of my... or anybody, actually, do me a favor and go over to Twitch and copy that link that he's dropping over there and come drop it in the Rockfin as well. I would appreciate that. And I think it's about time for me to start.
Okay, that was my phone into Brian Staveley, Dose of Reality. As I said, he's on Rockfin. It's not a platform I've looked at massively. I believe there's so many out there that it's difficult you can't upload to everywhere. I mean, uploading a video, it can take a fair bit of time. And if you were to upload, say, to 5 different platforms, YouTube, 153, Rockfin, Twitch, and then a fifth one, I don't know, Rumble or something, that would literally be half your day, or it would be half my day anyway. So, but yeah, I've left a link to Brian Steverley's channel on Rockfin if anyone wants to check him out. He's looked into pretty much everything I imagine he has covered. Well, bear with me. Where's my monitor? Sorry, I just wish to monitor the live chat. Let's see. Susan Burns says there is an item called a dreamcatcher, I believe originating from American Indian culture. Yes, I'm familiar with dreamcatcher, Susan. Unless that's a reference to another part of the chat that I've missed. Phil earlier said, David, I know it's bollocks, just they know they have no support for it currently. They'll increase the fear porn, no doubt. Let's see. CC Jelly. The Macy story is the fakest of the fake. Absolutely, CC Jelly. Greetings and thanks for joining. Fails the smell test, a bit like Macy allegedly losing her sense of smell and taste. Yeah, that didn't. And just take a look at Macy, for goodness sake. If you can't see that's a gentleman in a wig, then, well, hey ho. Yeah, thanks for joining us, CC Jelly. Let's see. I'm curious what Susan was referring to about dream catchers. Oh, I'm with you. Talking about dreams. We were absolutely speaking about dreams. Yeah, I'll find my channel over on Twitch. I've so far only really made one video on there. Well, it's strange on Twitch. You have to use all one word. You're not allowed to put a gap in your username or anything. Bobby's Dream. Is that it? No. That's the name of a racehorse, apparently. Bobby's Dream on Twitch. Oh, it's a popular one. There's even a YouTuber called Bobby's Dream. See, the good thing with Bobby Zines, no one is called it. It is the only... It's not a name I particularly... Oh, hang on, perhaps I put the word Twitch in the... It is, of course, not my real name. It rhymes with my the original YouTube channel I had, where I made videos such as this. Right, search for live content. Browse. How do you find channels then? Right, my channel used to be Z1NE5. No results, that's because I'm now BOBBYSDREAM. There we go. See, I've only got 4. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, I have tried doing streams in midweek, but they can, I don't always, they're not that consistent. I mean, this one, I'll put a link to my Twitch. Yes, I'm familiar with Dreamcatchers, you're absolutely right. The interesting thing is, they're not mine, I promise you, but in my bedroom we do have a couple of Dreamcatchers hung up over the window. American Indian culture, is that worshipping false gods? I'm not sure, right? Bobby's Dream on Twitch. Before we round out tonight, I do wish to fill up my list. I was going to come up with how language changes, what words are used in a completely different way now. to what they used to be. We've got stay safe. Now, basically, is if you tell someone to stay safe, you're telling them to live in fear. You're telling them not to see people. Agoraphobic is now means self-isolating. OCD, is it 2 S's? No, 1. Obsessive compulsive disorder. How far out was I spelling obsessive? What do you reckon? A second S after the B, I bet. Oh no. What did I spell it wrong then? ESSIVE. That's exactly how it... Okay, whatever. Compulsive disorder. How is this better known nowadays? I would say obsessive compulsive disorder is now just called, don't know, what do you call it, where people constantly putting hand gel on. It's still OCD, but I think it's just staying safe. I mean, again, we've got a bit of a crossover here. An old meaning, staying safe. Yeah, maybe that's stretching a bit, and perhaps that's not quite what I had in mind. As I said, back when I originally came up with the idea of compiling a list of words that now have completely different meanings, I did have a few that I was going to cover, but they all... yeah, mine's gone a bit blank. Right, flu. Okay. Yeah, flu now means... Let's see. If you have... you're now a case. You're basically just a statistic now. You're no longer a sick person. You're a potential body bag filler. Potential victim. And again, victim is, yeah, what once would maybe been referred to as, it is, yeah, I mean, if we read a story, let's go back to Sky News, let's source them for a bit of information. Right, Obrecht says Hilton monolith. What is the Hilton monolith, Obrecht? Sorry, excuse me for my ignorance. Did something happen there? Right, Javid told Sky News he is concerned that the UK could witness a bad flu. And what's going on here? Why have we got this here? Cambridge ESM learning. I don't know, this is right, I will look at what Obrecht suggested. Hilton monolith. Sounds familiar, but images. Is that the new name for... Is that basically what is now where the towers used to be? Is that now the Hilton monolith? Oh, hang on, we had some cracking images there. Is that... That doesn't look real, does it? Some temple. Huh. This, I'm guessing... Okay. It's still there. Yes, I'm curious what the context was of old Brexit and the Hilton monolith. I'm guessing that is now in place of the towers, yeah? Although it looks like it was there all along. Huh. What is the significance of the Millennium Hilton? The monolith as advanced technology is a symbol for the multi-generational handiwork of the firstborn. The Millennium Hilton adjacent to the Ground Zero at the Trade Center complex, an evolutionary stargate. After the death of Arthur C. Clarke, Michael A. Hoffman wrote, wow, this sounds out there. Okay. Right, it is getting close to 11. I will start winding down shortly, unless anyone's got any suggestions for how words have now changed their meaning. Yeah, if you're watching this after the live stream and anyone's got any suggestions, normally, I mean, you look at a story and it is littered with words that now have new meanings. Let's see. Okay. Well, of course, Corona has a new meaning. Corona. This is probably how I should have originally compiled the list. The word being Corona. What did it used to mean? So yeah, forget all this stuff here. We'll just draw a load of lines through it. Hang on. Insert horizontal line. Okay, we're on to a new thing now. The word was Corona. What did it used to mean? Previous meaning was it was a drink. A drink. I don't know if anyone remembers the Corona Man. A drink, both beer and fizzy. It was a typewriter. Typewriter brand. Oh. Docs now suggest grammar corrections. Nope. Brand. And also it meant, if you want to add the word CV, that of course originally meant it was the common cold. Coronavirus was a name for a whole umbrella of diseases, discomforts, and the common cold was among it. It was just part of that. CV, here's another one then. Word. CV. Original meaning. Don't worry, I won't be going too long with this. Original meaning was here we go again with my spelling. Curriculum. Curriculum. It changed it for me. Vitae. It was your CV. It was what you handed round. CV in Roman numerals. Is there a Roman numeral C? I don't believe there is actually. But V would have meant 5, sorry. X is 10, isn't it? Curriculum vitae. New meaning, not anagram, initials of a deadly virus. Oh, hang on, we didn't put new meaning in for any of these, did we? Corona, new meaning. They're basically scary virus. Pronoun. Is it a pronoun? I don't know. Susan Burns says it also believes it meant crown. Absolutely, you're correct. Thank you, Susan. Previous meaning was crown. I mean, of course, it still does mean crown, but to the majority, they're not going to want to hear that. Scary virus pronoun. I'm not sure how much else. Right, the original word was CV. If anyone else knows what CV stands for. Linda Mack says, "Oh, DJ Carrera, greetings and thanks for joining us. Certificate of Vaccination ID 2019. Hi all, any chatter on mad cow disease like symptoms from the jabs? Personally, I've not heard of that one. To be honest, how many humans ever actually got BSE, as they called it back then? And was BSE just another... it seemed to be a good way to kill the British farmers, didn't it? Yeah, hi DJ Carrera, thanks for joining us. Right, so back to words and how meanings have changed. I will cover a couple of these. CV's original meaning was curriculum vitae. It now means a new... it's the initials of a deadly virus. That's all it means to anyone. Safe, basically. Oh. The word is safe. We'll cover this one again. Original meaning was protected, basically. Protected, not at harm. New meaning for the word safe, safe as in staying safe. Do you know what? When I was at school, people used to say safe if they meant good. Safe mate. Right, new meaning is safe as F was another one. Safe as houses. Right, new meaning now means a state of paranoia. What did we originally claim? Yeah, live in fear. A state of paranoia. Advice to live in total fear. Oh, can't spell total. Right. So, final word is well, what haven't DJ Carrera, you do not have to stick to any topic. We will be changing. I'm just going to finish this because it is kind of the title. We will look at, in a minute, any BSC-like symptoms. I'm going to be going for a little bit longer, nearly finishing, but no, there's no major topic. The original word was, last one, isolated, right. Originally, meaning, lonely. It wasn't a positive word. Lonely, so, I mean, some people enjoy being isolated. Desolate. But it now has a new meaning. I can't spell for spit. I do blame that on the fact it's quite late and I've got a bright computer screen blinding me. It makes it difficult to concentrate, so I will be winding down soon. Right, new meaning. If you're isolating, you are protecting others. DJ Carrera says Creutzfeldt-Jacob's disease. Oh, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. What is Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease? It's one I've heard of, but okay. If anyone has anything to add in the chat, in the comments, in future, watching this, I know a lot of people. I know some people watch it after I've streamed. So, right, mad cow disease. I've not heard of many. Okay. C-R-E-U. Well done on your spelling, by the way, DJ Carrera. Creutzfeldt disease. Is that another name for BSE? Yeah. Is a rare degenerative brain disorder. Symptoms usually start around 60. Memory problems, behaviour changes, visions, and poor muscle. Okay. I'm guessing is it anything to do with BSE or not? Right, we'll have a look for that. BSE symptoms. Let's see. Reported. Not that I'm particularly expecting Bing to. Right, because BSE. Alright. Clinical symptoms reported in Ding. Right. Bovine spongiform. What a word. Right, mad cow disease, an infectious disease caused by prions that affect the brain of cattle. The actual name of the disease is bovine spongiform encephalopathy, and probably a lot more. BSE symptoms reported from vaccine. You could argue that some COVID long haulers report having severe symptoms. I'm not sure. DJ Carrera, if you have a link to anything, I'll add you as a moderator. You can share links, okay? Do you know, I wouldn't doubt that. It's interesting now. Okay, here we go. This comes up. If you look at the... Yeah, I mean, there is like an official report of official numbers of how many people have reported adverse side effects. And when you consider that could just be 1%, that's what some claim, as low as 1% of these situations are reported. Right, the unprecedented scale and speed of the vaccination effort has required health bodies to constantly monitor for side effects. Added 4 new side effects to the information. A casual link has not been specified. JCVI expert warns boosters will wear off. So you better keep taking more, basically. That's the BBC. Okay, it looks like DJ Carrera is going to find a link for us. And then, after we've looked at that, I think I will wind down for the evening. The AstraZeneca vaccine has been mirrored in controversy over its link to the formation of blood clots. Now, remember that story about Macy, someone or other? 17-year-old Macy, and how much she wonders how different her life would have been if she'd had her poison a week or two earlier. Perhaps she would have been saved from getting ill. Absolute nonsense. In that story, they linked blood clots to it. They want people to think that blood clots are actually just as big a risk from the BS19. They always have to include this part. They'll never miss a chance. Despite the risk posed by 19, far outweighed any direct risks posed by the vaccine, it falls on regulatory authorities to update product information when new side effects come to light. How can they possibly make this statement? And why can't I highlight anything? Despite the risk posed by far outweighing any direct risks by the vaccine. Okay, DJ Carrera has shared a link. I'll have to go to the live chat. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, typical, it's not coming up. I'm having to open it up at the moment elsewhere. Hang on. Let's see. Okay, I've got it. Right, we will have a look at this one, DJ Carrera, and then we will be finishing up for the night. Let's see. Yeah, DJ Carrera, just waiting for the fertility side effects. Well, I know people that have said there is, basically it's affected their menstrual cycle. Women that say their periods have just gone continuous and just have been messed up since then. Right, can I look at this in full screen? That's kind of annoying that I can't see it better. No, zooming in doesn't help. Right. Microbiology and infectious disease, RNA-based vaccines and the risk of prion disease, which, was apparent in mad cow disease. They did say that. Now, was that also the case with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease? Is that why you mentioned that? Lisa Shaw, BBC presenter, died from the jab. Yep, I do remember hearing about that. Right, the polio virus before it was injected into patients, RNA-based vaccines offers, I'm just kind of skipping ahead here, RNA-based vaccines offer special risk of inducing specified adverse events. One such potential adverse event is a prion-based disease caused by activation of intrinsic proteins from prions. A wealth of knowledge has been published on a class of RNA-binding proteins shown to participate in causing a number of neurological diseases, including Alzheimer's disease and ALS, and FUS are among the best studied of these proteins. The Pfizer RNA-based vaccine was approved by the US FDA under emergency use. Happened also here in the United Kingdom. This is from Microbiology and Infectious Diseases. Correspondence. I would guess it's, legitimate. ISSN. I don't know what looking at the ISN number will do, but let's try that. Right, so 2639. ISN 2639. 9458. See if it's public. Oh, for goodness sakes. ISBN. Apologies. I will just have a look for this document. 239. Sorry. 2639. Apologies, my typing skills are starting to fail me this does happen later on in the evening. 9458. Let's see if that... Oh, ISSN number. Here we go. Here is what the Facebook link is. I mean, the Global Index for Continuing Resources. What was the name of that? Microbiology. Okay, it certainly looks like a legitimate title. I mean, we already found it or not? I'm curious. It was this one, wasn't it? I'm not sure how much access I have to this. Right, open link in a new tab. Does it go anywhere? Free access. Perhaps you have to sign up to get this. Yeah, unfortunately, this does confirm that yeah, it certainly looks like a genuine, legitimate source where that story comes from. So I would have no doubt that yeah, that's legit. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, DJ Carrera. You heard of placenta issues? Nasty. That's one thing you really don't want messed up. So was that supposedly what Lisa Shaw had a problem with, Crohn's disease? Yeah, that obviously is the sort of thing that will start becoming apparent. I mean, if it genuinely messed with fertility in everyone, which who knows, it will be about now that we'll start noticing that 9 months into the year. I must have seen pregnant people. There must be pregnant people about. I'm just trying to think if I've seen any. I'm sure I must have seen pregnant people around. But that is obviously something that's worth looking at as we go forward. Look around and see. I mean, obviously not everyone has succumbed, so and let's hope they don't. Are we on the edge of a yeah, thanks for sharing that, DJ Carrera. Interesting stuff. It doesn't surprise me for a second. This was done, I guess guessing this is the peer reviewing, received on the 27th December, accepted on the 18th of January 21. Abstract. Development of a new vaccine technology has been plagued with problems in the past. The current RNA-based SARS-CoV-2 vaccine was approved in the US during an emergency order without extensive long-term safety issues. In the paper, the vaccine was evaluated for... Okay, fair enough. You have shared the link to this. Thank you for sharing that, DJ Carrera. I am curious what the situation will be next week. Have we really seen the last of any suggestion that we'll be expected to show proof of taking one particular medical treatment? I mean, it's so ridiculous that I can't see how that would work, but who knows? We'll see. Or is it just going to be a new story now that flu is ripping out the world apart again? That becomes the big thing that everyone gets scared of. Have they sold all their poison that they're going to be able to? Do you know, I didn't put my notice up. Oh, not that one. This one. Tonight, that any copyright protected material used in this video is for the purposes of review and education. DJ Carrera says, I just saw something on 153 News and searched on Facebook. Okay, great. 153 News, the wonderful channel, always worth following. Susan says many miscarriages. I've not actually heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, DJ Carrera, the fallout from the jabs could be pretty bad soon. I'm genuinely hoping that it won't be, and that the majority of people will be okay. I have no wish to see, everyone around me suddenly become ill. That'd be awful. I mean, that's like family, and it's your loved ones that are. I'm sure we've all got loved ones who have decided to take part in it, and no, of course, I don't want to see these people go ill. DJ Carrera, also Google short illness. Okay, that will be the very last thing we do this evening. And then I'm going to wind down. Thanks for the suggestion. So what is, when you say short illness, what is the significance? Let's have a look. Safari is using encrypted. Right. I'm guessing short illness. Is this a new... it always meant not that you were unwell for a very short amount of time. Short illness. Illness is the fact or experience of being ill. Not anymore, it isn't. Joe, that would actually be one last thing I'm going to put onto my list. I mean, what is being ill now? Word. Illness. Used to mean being ill. New meaning is basically based on the results. Based on results of a test. Now, even using the word test is a stretch, because why can't I put in inverted commas? Hang on. There we go. What one was it? Yeah, these PCR tests, by their very admission, are not accurate enough to give a clear positive result. If you take a PCR test, now yeah, let's say for example you want to go into the theatre and watch something, and they say if you had your 2 bouts of poison, and you say nope, not doing that, and they say okay, apparently they will then tell you you have to have one of these tests. Now these tests are, it's such a ridiculous word, you might as well call them lollipops. These lollipops, I mean, you are sticking them in your mouth, aren't you? So as much as lollipops they are a test, yeah, they're not considered accurate enough to give you a positive reading. That is why hospitals and care homes are ordering their staff to take 3 of them, because they're not accurate enough, they're not reliable. So they say, well, rather than not take an unreliable test, why would we ever waste our time taking an unreliable test? We're going to make you take this unreliable test 3 times a week now. I'm not sure if that's still going on. If it is, that is laughable. But worse than that, worse than any staff accepting these tests, is that patients, people that are being entrusted into care homes to be given the best possible, life, and they're being treated like you're just basically a potential, you're a potential case. We're just waiting. We're going to keep jabbing you every however long, week, month, until we can turn you into a case. We want to list you. And by the way, if we turn you into a case, anyone you've been around, they also have to, they're potential cases as well. It's so sick. Right, last one, okay? I haven't looked up short-term illness. Sorry, I will look at that in a minute, DJ. Case. I got sidetracked there. Case, right. Old meaning. Carried luggage. New meaning. Spreader / catcher. Of course, we're all spreaders, whether we've been tested or not, whether we're ill or not, we're all potential spreaders. That's why we've all got to put masks on. Catcher, sufferer of the plague. Right. I might return to this someday, particularly if there's any new words we can add to the list. Word case, that's not very... Right, the word case, the old meaning was it was something that carried luggage. New meaning, if you're a case, you're now a spreader, a catcher, or a sufferer of basically the plague. Right. Short illness. I do apologise for jumping off of that. As I said, this is the last thing we're doing this evening. Phil Wright says, my mum still takes the test before she sees my dad in the care home. Are they forcing her to do that, or is she doing that of her own volition? Is it just something expected of her now? Right, 2 young journalists dead from mystery short illness after AstraZeneca Covishield vaccine. Wow, which great game India. Is this a Indian blog or journal? Okay, 2 young journalists have died from what media calls a mystery short illness after taking the vaccine branded as Covishield in India. There are no details provided about the illness, with any mention of vaccine scrubbed from the reports. Unfortunately, they died in short span after taking, so illness was short, but crime is big. Huh. When was that? 14th of June. I do remember, yes, I remember this one. I remember her passing on. Lisa Shaw, okay. Joined from Radio Newcastle in 2016. She used to be a children's presenter, I think. I could be wrong. She also had a successful career in commercial radio. In a statement, Lisa developed severe headaches a week after receiving her AstraZeneca vaccine and fell ill a few days later. She was treated by the RVI intensive care team for blood clots and bleeding in her head. Terrible. A coroner will consider if the cause of BBC presenter Shaw's death might have been complicated by having the vaccine. Yes. Whenever BBC journalists are involved, I'm always a little bit suspicious about the motive. I do believe they want people living in fear. As we've said, we've listed... Yeah, I've not known anyone that's got... Well, I don't know, I can't say that. I've known people that... More people have died this year, suddenly, than usual, definitely. No doubt about that. And did they potentially have that? Who knows? Unfortunately, it wasn't something I was able to find out, but... yeah. Yeah. All I can say is I hope we are all wrong, and I hope everyone who has had it will be okay. I am going to wind out tonight. Going to wind down now, sorry. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's joined the live chat, especially DJ Carrera in this last hour, and Susan, Phil. Let's see, who else? Susan Byrne, Phil Wright, O'Breck. Yeah, you come in the last hour. I appreciate that. Also, I would like to thank... Okay, I'll read it. I'll run it down properly. Okay, huge thanks to DJ Carrera, Phil Wright, Susan Byrne. Let's see. Susan Byrne. Linda Mack. If I didn't already say hello to you, thanks for joining us this evening. I believe I did. Obrecht, CC Jenny also joined in. Thanks for joining us, CC. Susan Byrne, David. I believe I mentioned David. Phil Wright, Maria Ellender, Anyone else? Isa Jones came in earlier on, not long after we started. Thanks for stopping by. Did anyone else comment who I haven't mentioned? If so, my sincere apologies. I thank you all for joining in, for taking part in another live stream with me. They are made a million times better by having an audience and interacting with you guys in the live chat. I am always available on Skype if anyone wants to call in. I mean, it's probably best drop a mention in the chat first, and I'll know to keep an eye out for it. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to call in during a show, most of the time I'm not signed in on Skype, but I can make a point to be when a live stream is going. I am over on Skype. I'm over on Twitch. Mainly on YouTube every Sunday doing a live stream. Wait there, just going to get another link. DJ Carrera, Delta is shedding from jabs. Dizziness, not breathing problems. Huh. Yeah, I did know someone complaining of dizziness the other day, but I mean, maybe that's just... Unfortunately, DJ Carrera, I do need to end now, but any link you put down, we will certainly look at in the next one. It is fairly late here now. But yeah, by all means, share a link and we'll certainly check it out. We also looked at a channel, I can't think of the guy's name, Peter something, and yeah, he had interviewed a nurse that was a whistleblower. Let's see, what was the name of the guy? Stu Peters. Well, apparently if you put the word Stu into a search engine, Peters is the first answer that comes up. DJ Carrera, can you post an image here? You can post a link to an image, but no, unfortunately not. If you want to email something to me, it's bobbyzones@gmail.com. That email is open to anyone that wants to contact me. Yes, but I am going to have to finish now. We did play in with JT33, the YouTuber. Played in with their video, Gaia's Revenge. We could play out on it. Right, Carrera says Richard E. Grant's wife's death was a short illness. I hadn't heard that one. Is that a recent death? I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, a short illness, that's an unusual term. Is it? I mean, short illnesses were never deadly as far as I suppose people die after a short illness, that does happen. Asian guy off Gogglebox, short illness. Okay, so I'm guessing all of them are linked to, basically, as you said, shedding. It certainly gives anyone a reason not to want to take part in that, but for a lot of people, unfortunately, it is too late, and they have already. DJ Carrera, my apologies for, I really appreciate you sharing the information. I will be back next Sunday, and as I said, if you've got anything you want to share on Gmail, I'll be on there. So, huge thank you to everyone this evening, and DJ Carrera, if you want to share any more links, you are welcome to until the live stream ends. Don't think YouTube let people put links in. Oh, hang on, I got something using. It looks like my computer's starting to close up. I've got too many tabs open by the looks of it. So I am going to have to hit the end stream button now. Yeah, DJ Carrera, I hope you can join us next Sunday. We will be streaming again, and that goes for everyone who's joined us this evening. I hope you can make it next Sunday. Have a good week. Let's see what the MSM are sharing this time next week. Or sometimes it's best just to ignore it, I think. Alright, have a wonderful week, everyone, and all the best. I was going to play out with a video by one of my old videos, actually. It does go on for 17 minutes though, so I'm thinking of just putting that on, and if anyone wishes to watch it, they can. Oh, I have to set it up, actually. Or we could just play out watching JT33. Yeah, maybe I'll save my 17-minute video for next week. No, actually, we're going to play out with my... I did want to do that. Bear with me, though, please. It'll just take me a second to set up. Yeah, unfortunately my computer slows down ridiculously after a couple of hours, so... Right, where are we? Simple deck. What? Right, got it. Just got to find the video and we will be where we need to be. Okay, this was one I made back in... Oh, I haven't even got the date at the moment. Must have been probably the beginning of this year. I remember it was in the winter, probably around Christmas time. It was called Why Are Peter Andre and Emily Andre Really Pushing BS19 Vax? It goes on for 17 minutes. I will be in and out of the chat in that time. Yes, and then at the end of it I will close out. Okay, the microphone is going off. 2N Lit, greetings and thanks for joining us. You say DJ's links work fine, good. That's great. Yeah, if anyone ever has any links they want to share in the live chat, just let me know and I will moderate you if I recognise you. I mean, 2N Lit, for example, DJ Carrera, Susan Byrne, Phil Wright, all regular viewers. So I'd have no problem giving you guys Linda Mack. I've known you for... I'll moderate you, add mod. Anyone else? Oh, Brett. I'm not sure if half of you are still with us. Who else? Yeah, if anyone wants to share a link, just let me know. Right, I'm going to have to start winding down, as it were. This is going to start playing in a sec, so I'm going to... Hang on. For me, I don't find Peter Andre any more... Okay. Yeah, thanks for letting us know, 2N Lit, and yeah, you've come in right at the end, unfortunately. So thanks for joining the live chat nonetheless. I'm going to mute myself now, and we're going to play out with a 17-minute video. Hang on, let me level it up a bit better. Right, for me, I don't find Peter... I need to... Okay, if you follow my videos, you probably know this one anyway. You've probably seen it before. Yeah, I made it back a while back. Okay, I'm muting myself. Have a good week, people. See you next week. Andre any more believable in this video than back when he used to do those Iceland videos? Do you remember that? He used to advertise the supermarket. He was telling people, come down to Iceland, get a great deal. Now he's saying, come down to your NHS centre, get a great vaccine. I wouldn't believe a word he says or his partner. Hi everyone, now you may have seen the mainstream media heavily promoting a video on Peter Andre's YouTube channel that shows his supposed wife, Emily McDonough, taking the BS19 vaccine. We're going to ask, what is their motive for this video? Despite Peter Andre and the medical doctor's relationship being played out in front of the camera over the years, we're going to put aside Peter's apparent desperate need for attention, which has included numerous reality shows with his cabaret act First Wife, in which we are supposed to believe they procreated. Recently, Peter Andre's publicised battle with BS19 was the subject of another of his videos, but in this one they stress the importance and benefits of getting vaccinated. Now we're going to see if this couple would have an alternative motive for making such a piece, or is it just about educating people to keep themselves safe? Forget that, as a doctor, Madonna's job is peddling these drugs and making them seem as appealing as possible, as that is what she's paid for. Let's see if we come across any other reasons these people have to push the vaccine besides views, revenues and subscribers, which they constantly beg for throughout this video.
Just waiting for Emily now. Oh yeah, it's kind of a real moment. Hi lovely.
Okay, this is where Peter arrives at the car park. He's about to meet his wife after work and they're going to go and get her shot, and he makes this very bizarre comment. It's kind of like a real moment. Now, is that suggesting that the majority of moments in Peter's life aren't real and that it's all just a fabrication? I don't know, we'll watch on. He now talks to this nurse about a load of stuff, but we're going to skip forward to another part which I find a bit strange.
There's a lot of people that are struggling to accept the vaccine. We're hearing it everywhere, people that don't believe it's real or it's a control mechanism. I mean, what do you say to something like that? Because it's got to be very difficult when you're here trying to do something to help people.
I think, it's really, we've had a really positive response. There are some groups that may be at risk that really should come forward, and we are advocating that they do come.
Well, you guys are doing a fab job. Today's going to be it's an amazing thing that you guys are allowing us to film this, because I think it's really good for people to see.
I think it is. I think it is.
And thank you for the access.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so here Peter wants us to believe that this is a very real moment, just him and his wife coming in and filming, but makes you wonder who's actually recording this part of them hand gelling themselves. It means that they must have a third person with them, or maybe a director, maybe not quite a real moment as they might have led us to believe. Here we get to see Peter's wife take the jab and everything.
Starting at 7 and not finishing till like 7:30, so full on clinic.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I feel like I'm part of something really important, and I don't know, I feel grateful really that I'm able to get the vaccine, and that's why I wanted to document it, to show people that, doctors, NHS workers are getting this done and we're not scared, and we just want to protect other people, protect our patients, protect our colleagues, and so that everyone can carry on doing the good work they're doing, basically.
Let's go. Being in here and seeing how many people are here, and speaking to the nurse, to Laura, and she has said that it's been so busy since 7 o'clock this morning. It just goes to show how incredible this is.
We've just heard Emily stressing about why it's so important that we see her get taken the vaccine, and she wants to show that NHS staff are doing it and they're not scared of it. We will see if that's exactly the reason, or if there may be any other factors that motivate her to make this video in a bit. Also, Peter goes on about how busy these people are. Considering how busy they are, they do keep this nurse occupied for a long time, making their piece of propaganda.
And as far as you're aware, you've not had coronavirus itself in the last 28 days? No, I have probably been exposed to it in the last 28 days from this gentleman, but I didn't get any symptoms, and I was testing myself twice weekly and I was negative on all occasions. So
she points out that she was testing herself twice weekly and negative on all occasions. Interesting, they weren't too worried about showing you that procedure, and yet they are desperate to make you see how important the vaccine is, but they obviously don't think the testing's that important. We were about to see a clip of Peter getting a test, however, but watch this clip from that earlier video and see how it played out.
I'm going to go and get the COVID test done, so you can all laugh your heads off when you're seeing this thing go up my nostrils. Okay, I'm gutted you guys did not see that. I'm going to let the team tell you how that went.
Well, I mean, you did do well. There was... I'll let this do. So we weren't allowed to film.
Oh, what do you know, they weren't allowed to film. And did you notice how they were all passing it on to someone else? Oh, I'll let Emily explain what happened. No, I'll let the kids tell you how that went on. You know, they had nothing to say. Coincidentally, they weren't able to film it, Peter being tested. They also made what is absolutely a vile practice of sticking a probe right to the back of someone's nose appear like a joke. It isn't. Never let anyone test you. Flat out refuse till your dying breath. That's what I'm going to do. No one will ever test me. Anyway, we'll carry on with this propaganda piece.
Oh, you're allergic to non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Yeah, so all of them basically. What happens when you have them? So I get kind of like, I've never had anaphylaxis, I don't have an EpiPen, but I get sort of like mouth swelling. But obviously I just don't take them, so that's no reason not to go ahead with the vaccine. So that's.
We now hear that Emily is allergic to all non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, but of course that's no reason to be worried. Take the vaccine regardless. It's interesting how she refers to her symptoms as mouth swelling. Are we sure this person's a doctor? The term is angioedema.
And I've never had a problem with another vaccine. You know, I have my flu every year, I've had poop and cough, you know, I've had a lot and it's been fine. Please tell the answer to the next question is yes, so I can get a major scoop, but you're not pregnant? No.
God, I'd like to know that actually. That's an interesting point. You know, the flu vaccine, obviously you've had, whooping cough.
Yeah, I had that in pregnancy.
So obviously vaccines are very commonplace, but we just don't talk about them as much anymore.
Well, I think, you know, we just get used to the other vaccines that we have. I think we just don't really think much of it. And I think people are worried about this because it's something new, but I think, you know, it's just another vaccine. And not only that, it's vaccinating against something which is incredibly important to vaccinate against. You know, the reason we're all in lockdown at the moment is because of coronavirus. So we need to try and come together.
Okay, I'll just pick Emily up on a couple of points there. If this is just another vaccine like all the rest of them, then why is there such a heavy push to get people to have it, even if they don't want to? And also she says that the reason we're all in lockdown is because of the coronavirus. Well, no, again, that's not true. It is the government's response to all this reporting of the supposed pandemic.
Can you understand, let's just say something here, can you understand how some people are nervous? For example, if someone suffers any type of anxiety.
I think what you have to remember is that this is a medication like many other medications that we take, and it's gone through the same safety trials and processes and regulations as other medications and other vaccines. But I think because this one has been so much in the news and so topical, I do think people are obviously worried, and I think we're just in a climate at the moment of feeling scared and anxious about lots of things. So
are there other vaccines that are approved quickly and, you know, that have been in the past? In other words, that's what a lot of people's fear is, that it's been approved so quick. But
well, I think we've got to remember that it's had the backing and you know, it's had unlimited budget, the best scientists in the country working on it around the clock. You know, it's just been prioritised basically because of the pandemic, and that's why it's gone through maybe slightly quicker than other vaccines. That does not mean it's not safe, and it doesn't mean that they've skipped on any of the safety precautions.
Yeah, well, they can't skip on any of the safety precautions.
I think that's the key message to get through. Yeah. Happy to proceed?
They want you to put a lot of trust in their words here. Do you have any reason to feel anxious, Peter asks. She just dismisses it completely. Of course you don't. Lots of money's been chucked into this, an unlimited budget actually, and if that doesn't give you a cause of concern, I don't know what will. There's no way I'll ever put my trust in a government who's on a pharmaceutical industry that is completely motivated by greed, by profit. Not a chance. And it's not a medication just like any other, because with medications you generally take because you're ill, not just because you're worried you might get ill. That is a ridiculous reason for taking medication, particularly one such as this that can have such a big effect on your body. We will watch on. We're soon getting to the point now, the moment we've all been waiting for, Emily getting her shot, and we may see the true motive for this video coming up soon. We're getting there, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm happy to proceed.
Guys, I'm going to show the whole process here so everyone can see.
Clean the top of the vial. So we keep the vial in this little box because it's so fragile. If it gets knocked over, we would need to replace it. We wouldn't be able to administer it. It also is sensitive to light, so we keep it in the dark, and also it likes to be kept cold, so it's a good little place to keep it.
Can I just say thank you for sharing the process with us, and just hopefully to make people feel less worried about it.
Here we go.
So it's 0.3 mils. So just a tiny little volume to give. Not very steady.
No,
hand.
I have to show these things because a lot, you know, you've seen all these things about, you know, and I just want to make sure that everyone's seeing that this is an actual process that's happening to thousands and thousands of people every day.
Now here Peter wants to record the process and show it is a real process, and what I actually think he's referring to is clips such as this where we've seen the press pretending that they're injecting people, but as you can clearly see, nothing's being stuck into these people. We've also seen other clips where there's no needle on the end, people haven't even unrolled their sleeve of their arms up. Very suspect. So considering Peter wants people to see the whole process, see it from being pulled out of the vial to being injected in the arm, does make you wonder why they have two cuts in this scene already. It's not exactly a complete from bottle to arm process, but whatever.
Just relax arms, so you can just drop it down by the side of you, so it's super floppy, that's it. Bam, I'll try not to put my hands in the way. Right, ready. Well done. Take my hand there. There we go, all finished. If you want to press on there for me, fab job.
Okay, the only thing with that scene that I think could look a little bit suspect is the way they disposed of that needle. They didn't exactly chuck it deep in the sharps bin, did they? It's kind of left on top, almost like it's the dummy needle that they're going to save for later. Normally you dispose of those things, seal it. You don't just leave them on top. In a bit, Peter's going to ask how many injections this nurse has done, and she's going to show us a load of empty vials to demonstrate she's used tons of them. Doesn't look like they've got rid of many needles according to that bin. That's one thing I don't understand. That is not a proper safe sharps bin.
Wow, a big moment!
Wow, that is a big moment.
Thank you so much. Don't even feel a thing. Very well done.
Well, honestly, thank you so much. How many of these have you done today?
Oh, I've done all of these vials, and there's 6 in a vial, so quite a lot of vials.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
Oh, so that's like 30 something, maybe more. So Emily, you've just had the vaccine. It was that quick.
It was
That's it.
brilliantly administered.
And now the nurse seems to suggest that the moment they've all been waiting for wasn't actually the vaccine. It's a little bit of card, which she goes on to say could be needed to get if you want to travel in the future. I think that's rubbish. There's no way a crappy little piece of cardboard will be a requirement for travelling. Who knows, could be wrong, but I think that's rubbish, just trying to sell the vaccine again. Is also said during this moment, which for me highlights a potential ulterior motive for this video.
Yeah, oh yeah, not even a drop. And then, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Oh! Yay!
And guess who did it? Pfizer.
Oh, is it Pfizer?
It's Pfizer, sorry, you got
Emily's
that right.
brother works for Pfizer.
Oh, really?
This is going to be your proof that you've had the vaccination. So as we just said, it's the Pfizer. So when you come back, you'll have a second dose of the Pfizer as well. Hopefully they should have given you a date for the second one.
They did, yeah.
Perfect.
It's in April.
I'll put today's date on there.
Do you need the date that they gave me, or it doesn't matter? Okay.
It's a hand. So just pop it on there when you've got the date to hand. When you come back, you do need to bring this card with you. Super important to keep it safe, and in the future it may be what you need for travel and stuff like that. So I recommend maybe taking a photo of it or have a photocopy. But yeah, that's
I'm not sure if you heard that bit where Peter and Emily start getting all excited because it's a Pfizer vaccine, and they then have to tell the nurse, oh, Emily's brother works for Pfizer. And now this is where I'm starting to wonder, is this really why they've done the video? Would you really be that excited just because they've used the company that your brother works for? Not really. You might say, oh, coincidence, my brother works for them. Now I have reached out to Emily and I've asked her what position her brother holds in the company. I'd be curious to know who he is. Is this her ulterior motive for promoting a vaccine? Is her brother someone who's been responsible for the development and has a vested interest in it selling loads? And by selling, you may think that you're getting it for free, but it's the NHS who are the customers here. You're not the customer, you're just the product, or a byproduct even. It's the vaccines that are the product. I did ask on Twitter, but at the time of recording this video I've not had any response. If I do, I will let you know. The only other thing I noticed about this video was how they tried to give the sound effects. If you listen in the background, it sounds like a very lively social environment that they're in. It's like, come down to your local mass vaccine centre and catch up with people again. It's a great environment, it's very safe. This is the idea they seem to be selling, but when you actually look in the reflection you can see that room is pretty much empty, so I wonder if they're putting a sound effect on top of this.
Well, I feel like we've all come together as a team, even people in different departments, isn't it? Do you kind of feel like you've got a really big family?
Yes, because we don't know really everyone here we've never met before, obviously us people.
For me, I don't find Peter Andre any more believable in this video than back when he used to do those Iceland videos. Do you remember that? He used to advertise a supermarket. He was telling people, come down to Iceland, get a great deal. Now he's saying, come down to your NHS centre, get a great vaccine. I wouldn't believe a word he says, or his partner, or wife, whatever she's supposed to be. Do you really believe that person's a doctor? Ugh, if you've ever come across her in the NHS, let me know. She hasn't answered me on Twitter yet. As always, guys, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think on this one, and take care.